Suppose that you are tossing an apple up to a friend on the third floor balcony. After t seconds, the height of the apple in feet is given by this equation. Your friend catches the apple just as it reaches its highest point. Part A. How long does it take the apple to reach your friend? Well, I actually did this one by hand. I have seen people do it by calculator. So by hand, you would use this formula. If we look at this, what we have is that A is negative 16, B is 38.4, and C is 0.96. Again, I find it easier, especially with these decimals, to do the problem by hand. So when we fill it in, it's going to be the opposite of 38.4 divided by 2 times negative 16. And when you type this in to your calculator, without using the fraction button, it's negative 38.4 divided by parentheses 2 times negative 16. Gives us that value of 1.2. Since we have time, we can look at it on the calculator screen as well. Go to y equals and we type this in. And it's negative 16x squared instead of t plus 38.4 x plus 0.96. And we hit zoom 6 because I want to start there. And the biggest key for this quiz is, can you get the picture completely graphed on here? So the nice part is we can see over here to the left of the graph, we can see to the right of the graph, we just can't see how tall the graph is. So we go back to our window, I'm going to go back to my negative 2, and I'm going to leave that 10, I'm going to make negative 2 here, but I'm going to start by making the y max 20. It might be good enough, or it might not. And it isn't. We can't see the very top. So I'm going to go back to the window, and I want to change this maybe to 30. And that should be enough for us to be able to see the top of the graph. So if you're doing part A, again, which says, how long does it take the apple to reach your friend? That's going to be at the highest point. We're going to do second, trace, and maximum. And eventually, a little bit to the left, enter. A little bit to the right, enter. And sure enough, we get 1.1999995. When we round it, it's going to round to be 1.2. So there's the picture of that one. I'm going to make that much smaller, but at least that can maybe help on there. Then it says, at what height above the ground does your friend catch the apple? Well, if you do this one by hand, then what's happening is we take the negative 16 times the 1.2 that we just found in part A, 1.2 squared, plus 38.4 times 1.2, plus the 0.96, which I'm going to have to squeeze in here, see if I can move anything. Plus the 0.96. But the nice part here is that we still have that picture either on our screen, but what it looks like here on our screen is that the height of that is the y value on our calculator, which is the 24. The 24 feet. So either way, I got that over there by looking at the screen, but we could type it into the calculator. You've got the calculation right there in front of you. And then lastly here on this particular problem, it says, how high is the apple after 0.5 seconds? So I didn't even put it in 1/2 this time. But I will do the computation. And it's going to be negative 16 times 0.5 squared plus 38.4 times 0.5 plus 0.96. Then we can go back to our calculator. Negative 16 times 0.5 squared plus 38.4 times 0.5 plus 0.96. And what we see is it looks like it's 16.16 feet. Again, hardest part for these is, can you get the picture? And when you can't get the picture, the nice part is you've got x equals the opposite of b over 2a. I did do that by hand, but I will say that maybe we try it with a calculator, because that's what I'm worried about. I think that you might go, oh, I got to use my calculator for this when you're taking the quiz. So if we go back into the y equals and we type this one in, and I did not type it in, so it should be interesting. 0.001 x squared minus 0.124 x plus 16. Then hit zoom 6, and I don't think anything's going to show up on here. Now, we've talked briefly about a button that I don't use very often on the calculator. You go to zoom, and we arrow down to number 0. There's the zoom fit. At least we'll get a picture. And again, I did not use the calculator on this one. And part of it is because we couldn't see anything. And then there's one more button here that we could use, which is the zoom, and it's out, I believe. And once you hit zoom out, you hit enter. And I'm going to hit enter again. And now we can see the whole picture. What I did on this particular problem is I used x equals the opposite of b divided by 2a. Because doing that on the calculator was too much. We haven't had enough practice with using the zoom out button, the zoom fit button. So if we type this in, what we're going to get is we're going to get a is 0.000, right? 0.001, too many. And b is negative 0.124. The c is the 16th. So this is going to be negative 0.124 divided by 2 times 0.001. When we type that in, negative, and then negative 0.124 divided by parentheses 2 times 0.001, we get 62. Which, by the way, is not the answer to this problem, because once we get to 62, we have to take that value and we have to put it back into the calculator for the x. So now it's going to be 0.001 times 62 squared plus 0.124 times 62 plus 16. So one last calculation. Is 0.001 times 62 squared minus 0.124 times 62 plus 16. And there we finally get what we need to finish this problem. We ended up with 12.156. And it says, according to this model, which of the following represents the lowest height of this surface? 12.2 feet.